If you're in business, your ultimate goal should be to increase your profits. Every other metric doesn't matter if profits aren't increasing or you have a clear plan on how they're going to increase in the future. But how do you actually do this instantly? Now you're probably thinking I'm going to say sell more stuff, get more customers, but this isn't the easiest way to do it instantly. The first and most basic way to increase your profits is to better understand and then increase your profit margins. Now, how do you do that? Well, first you need to understand your profit margins. If you don't understand your profit margins, it means you don't know how much money you're making off your product or your service every time you sell it. And this is obviously important because the more you can make off of every sale, the less sales you have to make the same amount of money. Or if you make the same amount of sales, you're going to make even more money. So what are your profit margins? Well, your profit margins is simply what you get in for your product or service, less what it costs you to sell that service. So if we're selling products, it's normally pretty simple because it's like, what do you sell the product for? You might sell a book for $30 and it costs you $10 to produce or to buy that book. So therefore you've got $20 margin. Now I like to go one step further and then also look at, well, did I have to pay postage costs on top of that? Any kind of packaging costs? And what is the time cost to process this sale? You know, it might take someone 5 minutes to process a sale. This is going to cost you another $2 there, for instance. And then we've also got some packaging costs and we've got some card fees that we pay on the sale. So we might go, okay, our final cost is actually $20. So we're getting $30 in, it's costing us $20 to sell, so we're making $10. And then we simply go, what is our profit? So $10, divide that by the sale price, so we've got 30, and we've got a 33.3% profit margin in that situation. So with services, it's gonna be working out what are you getting in? So we might be getting $500 from a client. How much is it costing us to deliver that service? Maybe we've got a fixed cost where it costs us $50 for a bit of software to be able to deliver our service. And now we want to go, how much technical staff are we paying to do this job? And how many admin staff are we doing? How long it takes them? And what is their hourly rate? And we might go, okay, it is costing us $200 to deliver that service. So in that situation there, we're getting $500 in, it's costing us $200 to deliver. So we've got a $300 profit off that, which is a 60% profit margin. If you don't understand your profit margins, you're not going to understand which products or services are performing best. Especially if you're selling multiple, you want to be able to know where am I actually making the most profit. For instance, if you've got two different services and one you're making 60% profit margins and the other is 20%, you either need to scrap the 20% one and move all your focus onto the 60% one, or you need to work out how can I make more profit off of this 20% item. Now, what is a good profit margin? Well, this is going to very much depend on your own business and your industry. So the best way to look at this is do some searches of your industry, what are the average profit margins there, and then determine, is your business average? Are you doing similar to what everyone else is doing? Well, then that's where you want to fall. Or maybe you've got a bit of a unique aspect where maybe you're going to have a lot higher profit margin. Or maybe you're selling in bulk and therefore you know your profit margins are going to be a little bit tighter and therefore that's okay. The next thing we want to do is then increase our profit margin. So if we can instantly increase our profit margins, we still sell the same amount of stuff, then we've got an instant increase in overall profit. Now there's always two ways to do this. We can either increase price or decrease costs. Now increasing price is limited because it's going to depend on what the market is and what your experience is and how valuable your service or product is. It's a little bit harder for products because if you're selling a product at the same price as everyone else, it's probably going to be hard for you to increase that price. If you're running a service-based business, you definitely could probably increase your prices if you've got that proven history of providing value. Or maybe you're going to add some more value to what you're selling that might have a zero cost. Maybe it's something you've built a course, or maybe it's a spreadsheet or something else that you can provide that has a $0 cost to provide in the long term that therefore can make you be able to increase your value and therefore increase your price. When it comes to cutting costs though, this is where I'm sure nearly every single business in the world has the ability to cut costs by just looking at what goes in, understanding their profit margins, and then going, where can we make a slight cut? It might only be 10%, but where can we make that cut that's going to increase our margin? This is especially true for service-based businesses. So there is going to be things that you're doing repetitively for your clients that you could be more efficient in. If you can just get a 10% efficient on whether it's the onboarding of a new client, or maybe it's on your deliverables, or maybe it's just by utilizing more software, how can you decrease the time it takes you to provide that same service, and therefore you're going to increase your profit margins and therefore increase your overall profit. If you are selling a product, then maybe you go back to your supplier and ask for a discount. When was the last time you did this? Has your orders increased? You're now doing more volume through them, therefore they may be able to provide you with a discount. If you don't ask, you will never know, and that's one of the key aspects in business, is you've got to be willing to ask the question. This does lead perfectly into my ask for this video, and it's that you would go and subscribe to my newsletter. I'm giving out free tax and business tips every single week, and it's all free, delivered to your inbox. All you've got to do is enter your email address and hit subscribe. Now let's get into the other thing that I think you can do to instantly increase your profits. When you think about a customer, you should also be thinking in terms of how many times do they buy from me? Now we're going to be talking about average over here, but how can we increase the average time a customer buys from us? And this will increase the lifetime value of that customer. What we want to know is, what is our lifetime gross profit value of a customer? How can we increase this? If we take a customer and they buy from us once and we make $100 off that sale, whether that's a product or service, it doesn't matter, we make $100 off them, then their lifetime value to us is $100. But how can we increase this? If suddenly that same customer buys from us 5 times, suddenly their lifetime value is now $500. This gives us way more leverage when we're trying to get new customers. If we're wanting to go out and get new customers, we might be willing to spend $100 in advertising to get that customer, and we might make nothing off that first sale, but we know every single time we make in the future, we're going to make $100, $100, $100. We're going to make $400 more on average off that customer. This is why large brands can afford to pay mega amounts for advertising, because they know the lifetime value. They've optimized their gross profit, they've optimized the times people buy from them, and therefore they can afford to spend more to acquire customers. If we compare that customer that we make $100 off 5 times, they're actually going to be more valuable than someone that we make $150 off, but we only make it twice. So that is something that you can consider, is how can you increase the times that your customers and clients buy from you. If you put these two factors together, increasing profit margins and increasing repeat buyers, you're going to instantly increase your profits without even necessarily needing to do extra work. And if you're still thinking that you're struggling to grow your business, this upcoming video I've got is all the reasons why a business struggles to grow and how you can address them, fix them, and ensure that your business is growing. Thanks for watching.